Genesis 5, from Adam to Noah. This is the written account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them. And he named them mankind when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years, and then he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had other sons and daughters. All right. Let's see what's happening from verse 1 to 7. All right, so we're okay. This is gonna be a lot of preparation of a lot of genealogies. I can tell because I'm just seeing the other verses that proceed after this. But yeah, so this is like I'm saying, Adam's family line to a person named Noah, to a huge patriarch we're gonna see named Noah. Noah. So yeah, so we're just seeing the what's it called, the ancestral line to Noah, from Adam to Noah. So yeah, and it says, okay, when God created mankind, he created them in the likeness of God. It says that, and he named them mankind. So yeah, this actually is used probably to debunk that whole claim that I had talked about in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, in terms of was mankind was there humans, like human like people, before Adam and Eve? I know that yeah, like if you refer to the previous Genesis 1 reading, that I bring a point that anthropology argues that what's it called, that there may have been mankind before Adam and Eve, with like the Homo habilis, like the early humans, right? But I also, in that same Genesis 1 reading, I also said that what's it called, that Genesis 2 followed up, and it could have been like used to like give specifically highlight the sixth day by retelling the creation of humans in more details, with Adam and Eve coming into the mix. So yeah, in this Genesis 5, it's kind of like doing that as well too, because it's saying that what's it called, he created mankind in male and female, and he named them, well, he created male and female, he named them mankind. So with the creation of Adam and Eve, that they could have been what's it called, the people that the mankind that he was what's it called, referencing to on that sixth day. So yeah, what I'm saying, Adam and Eve very well are most likely you know are most likely what I'm saying, the first humans. I would say that they're the first humans. Yeah. Okay, so, and it also follows up by saying, when Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, and he named him Seth. Okay, yeah, we heard about Seth. We heard about like there was a prelude to Seth in the last chapter, Genesis 4. So yeah, Seth, they had a Seth because what I'm saying, Cain killed Abel. So what I'm saying, God blessed them with another child named Seth. And yeah, it says that in his own likeness. So what I'm saying, we, of course, we resemble our fathers. You know what I'm saying, we have some type of connection to our parents. So it says, it's following up by saying, what's it called, he had a son named Seth in his own likeness. And Adam, it says that Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived a total of 930 years, and he died. So we can see that, what I'm saying, life back then, what I'm saying, they lived a long time. They lived a long time, you know what I'm saying? And actually, they would have lived for eternity had the sin not been created, because what I'm saying, the Garden of Eden, what I'm saying, there was no death, there was no killing, there was abundance. There was abundance. It was just so beautiful. Food was beautiful. Just life was beautiful. So had that sin not be created, we wouldn't be limited in our human years. In our human years, we would not have been limited. So you see that the Adam lived 930 years and he died. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then when Seth had lived 105 years, 105 years, wow, he became the father of Enosh. Wow. So, and there's not even just like they lived years. If they're living this many years, imagine how big they were. You know what I'm saying? I know that people always talk about like people back then, like in the biblical times, were giants and everything. These people were very well giants. They you know what I'm saying, to live 105 years, they're probably giant. You're probably giant. You know what I'm saying? Wow. All right. So let's see. Let's go to verse 7 right now. I mean, verse 8, sorry. Oh, wait, sorry. We didn't even talk about verse 7. After he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and, what's it called? Had other sons and daughters. So, yeah, so it's just talking about that. He lived 807 years and he had, what's it called? Seven other sons and daughters. Yeah. All right, verse 8. Altogether, Seth lived a total of 912 years and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years and he became the father of Kenan, when Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. After he became the father of Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived a total of 905 years and then he died. When Kenan had lived, bear with me, y'all, sorry. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahalalel. And was after he became the father of Mahalalel, Kenan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Kenan lived a total of 910 years and he died. And he died. Is that the last verse? Okay, yeah. And then he died. Yeah, that's the last verse from verse 14. All right. I read in 7. So yeah. Okay, so let's go back to verse I'm supposed to read actually 15. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. All right. Let's go back to verse 8 to 15, from verse 8 to 15. All right. So altogether, Seth lived a total of 912 years and he died. Okay, so we're just getting more genealogy. So yeah, he lived 912 years. Yes, another like his father before, you know what I'm saying, they lived long lives. And when Enosh, the son of Seth, had lived 90 years, he became the father of Kenan. You know what I'm saying? And okay, we're just seeing a lot of genealogies, and then, you know what I'm saying, they lived a long time. Kenan became the father of Mahalalel. They lived a long time, 840 years. They had sons and daughters, you know what I'm saying, lived a long time. And when Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he became the father of Jared. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, we're just seeing a lot of genealogies again. These numbers might signify something. Because I know that we're seeing like last chapter I talked about, like, you know what I'm saying, I talked about the land of Nod and how like that signified something. And I'm not gonna lie, the footnotes in the Bible, like they always just insinuate that there's something that we might have missed. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of like names or numbers or just like a lot of things that we're not contextually like a lot of things that we're not analyzing, that they're purposeful. They're purposeful. There's deeper meanings. Like I didn't actually talk about like previous chapters. I know there's so many things I missed, but I didn't go over Adam's apple. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we don't know the specific fruit that Adam ate, right? But what's it called? We look at the world today. We look at our males. You know what I'm saying? We above our, well, on our necks we have an Adam's apple. We call it the Adam's apple. Like, and it's literally looks like it's. I'm saying that all to say that the Bible showcases in life's forms. You know what I'm saying? We talked about how women would go through pregnancies, how snakes would be traveling on their bellies, and wow, like the Bible is just so prophetic in today's world. You know what I'm saying? I basically wanted to cover that. There's so many things I may have missed, but wow, yeah. All right, we're at verse okay, yeah, we just talked about all the, you know what I'm saying, all those genealogies. All right, so we're going to verse 16. After he became the father of Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahalalel lived a total of 895 years and then he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. After he became the father of Enoch, Jared had lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived a total of 962 years and then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. After he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Okay, let's take a pause right there, because that's to verse 22. All right, so we just saw a lot of genealogies again. You know what I'm saying? Again, what's it called? These numbers might signify something, but you know what I'm saying, I'll probably do research later. Yeah, I'll probably do. I'll definitely do, because you know what I'm saying, you gotta do research, but make sure you're getting the right research because you know what I'm saying. If it's not of the Bible, you gotta kind of like see if you're getting something that's not faulty. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure that you're getting something that's not faulty. Um, so yeah, wow. But in this one, apart from all the genealogies, this specific text says that um Jared, one of the like descendants of long descendants of Adam, had a son named Enoch, and this is the only son that we're seeing that it says that he walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Wow, he walked faithfully with God 300 years. Wow, this kind of like paints a picture. Yeah, like so these are all descendants of Seth, right? And Seth is different from Cain, the other brother, because Cain, you know what I'm saying, he was flawed. He was flawed. But God gave what's it called? Adam and Eve Seth. So but we see that Seth's bloodline is kind of different from Cain's bloodline, because we see that somebody has walked faithfully with God, and this is the child that God granted. So we're seeing the difference in terms of family line, in terms of yeah, a family, you guys, family. I know somebody's hearing me and knowing what I'm trying to say, but the difference of family line, I'm just gonna go by with family line. Forgive me, I'm terrible with words, but family line. But yeah, so Cain was different. Of course we didn't get to see Abel's life, his descendants would have been, but you know what I'm saying, Cain's, I guess his people were more focused on like worldly notions. I mean, like worldly achievements, you know what I'm saying? They were farmers, you know what I'm saying? Farmers, or they were boastful, as we saw with that Lamech, you know what I'm saying? But you see that we see nobility in Seth's and Seth's descendants in his line that proceed after him. So we see the difference. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and it says right out. Okay, let's go. Let's start reading verse 23, because it gives more context to this whole walking faithfully with God that Enoch had. Altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Wow. Enoch walked faithfully with God, and then he was no more because God took him away. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. After he became the father of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Methuselah had lived a total of 969 years, and then he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named him Noah and said, "He will comfort us in the labor and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed." Since it's not that much, I'm just gonna read all 30 and to the end. After Noah was born, sorry guys, I know that wasn't part of the text, but after verse 30, after Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived a total of 777 years, and then he died. And that Noah was 500 years old, and he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, that takes us to the end. All right, there's a lot to review on that one. All right, let's go back to verse 23. So as I said, this would what's it called? Give us more detail into Enoch's walk that was faithful. So it said, altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. He walked faithfully with God, and then he was no more because God took him away. So as I said, you know what I'm saying? Seth's family line is displaying nobility. What's it called? Enoch, one of the descendants, he lived a total of 365 years, and God took him away. You know what I'm saying? God took him away. Not God took him away, saying that he didn't have to experience death. He was so good that God was like, you know what I'm saying, let me bring him to the promised land, or I don't know where it means that God took him away, but if he's walking faithfully with God, that means he got a clear ticket to heaven for 365 years. And like I said, numbers are significant, because look at 365 years. Guys, that just means like I would say that's full completion. full completion. Because I've heard this, the people dubbing this like Enoch was displayed full completion, because he displayed full completion in life because he was walking faithfully with God, and it was 365 years. And look at the Bible being prophetic in today's world, practical in today's world. 365 years. How many days do we have in a year, guys? We have 365 days. That's full completion, right? It takes the Earth, the is it the Earth orbiting around the sun 365 years? Well, well, either way, you guys know what I'm saying. Full completion. Wow. That it just models how, you know what I'm saying, we should try to walk, we should be walking faithfully with God. You see, look at Enoch, 365 years. Wow. So you see, the Bible is just prophetic. Wow, we have 365 days in a year, and it's just modeling full completion, like the Earth orbiting around the sun. Like Enoch was modeling that even before we were known that the Earth is orbits around the sun 365 days in a year. Wow, beautiful. Um, okay, and then it also talks about, it just gives us other genealogies. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. Oh, we're seeing another Lamech, and this is not the same Lamech in comparison to that previous Lamech, because these of course these are all following in the descendants of Seth. But of course, some names get reused, because we saw Enoch. I don't know if they parallel each other, but we can see the resemblance. But even the resemblance in these names, Mahalalel, Methuselah, Methuselah, you know what I'm saying, that they all parallel each other. Um, but yeah, so we're seeing another Lamech here, you know what I'm saying? And I think he's gonna be a noble Lamech, because it says that what's it called? Lamech had lived 182 years, and he had a son, and his son name is Noah. We know Noah's Ark. I mean, we know the story of Noah. We've heard the story of Noah, even though I'm reading the Bible for like in all like. Oh, matter of fact, let me just give an intro into the purpose. Like, I know this is away from the chapter, but I'm trying to read the whole Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's not like the essential goal, but my goal is to live in the word. I mean, is to understand the word and live in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole reason why Matthew 16:24, that's the whole that's attached to the whole logo of this whole lifelong thing. Because I'm trying to live in the word. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be in the word as much as I can, so that I won't be of the world, because I know that's another famous verse in the Bible. So I know that was a that kind of like strayed away from this whole topic, but I mean, that just speaks to the whole mission in terms of lifelong. You know what I'm saying? We should all be in our words, not just lifelong, just in general. We should all be in the word, in the word. So we should all understand the word, so that we can know how to live in this world. You know what I'm saying? So that we won't be of this world. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, Lamech, he had a son. He had Noah. He had Noah, and he basically he said that Noah will comfort us in labor and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed. So he's basically saying that Noah will be a comforter for us, because of human involvement that was faulty. You know what I'm saying? The first sin. And you know what I'm saying, the Lord has cursed the ground. What's it called? Wait, sorry, let me actually read that again. He will comfort us in the land and painful toil of our hands caused by the ground the Lord has cursed. The Lord has cursed. It's not saying like the Lord caused like sin, but you know what I'm saying, it's saying, I think it's trying to give clarification that, you know what I'm saying, the Lord, the world is evil. The world is evil, and it's going to be a painful, hardful suffering in this world, because of just because of God had to be just um in terms of, what's the word, in terms of, God had to be just in terms of giving justice to sin. Now, that's the best way I put it. Getting justice to sin. So the world is going to be more. It's going to be harder to live, because of course we're not in the Garden of Eden. So, but Noah will bring comfort. Noah will bring comfort. So yeah, and it says that Lamech lived a total of 777 years. Wow, 777. We know that God's favorite number is seven. I'm not one that's too much in the angel numbers type things because I try to like because I don't know. The thing is, I need to do more research on that, but I try to not what's it called, not try to I try not to lean something that I don't know if God ordained angel numbers necessarily, but I know that God's a telling number. I don't know if it's his favorite number, but a telling number that we've seen is seven, because you know what I'm saying that models completion as well. You know what I'm saying, he created the world in 7 days. But it's beautiful how like Lamech lived a total of 777 years. You know what I'm saying, godly numbers. Because you know what I'm saying, he was noble. He was noble, unlike the Lamech that we saw earlier. Wow. And it's all because it's if he fell in Seth's line that you know what I'm saying, God brings Seth. You know what I'm saying? And it ends off saying that, and Noah was 500 years. No, after Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, so we're seeing three sons. I guess we're gonna get more details in terms of Noah, in terms of his walk with God later on. But yeah, that is Genesis 5 for you. Just like a lot of genealogies and just more context in terms of Adam's family line and nobility versus I forgot, I don't know what's like the direct word for opposite of noble, but you know, nobility and being unnoble. So yeah, so we see this you know what I'm saying, the ancestral line. We're given of course a lot more, a lot of prophetic names or numbers that we can go do our own research in terms of and come back to really fully understand, and even footnotes in whatever Bible version you have, or whatever, yeah, whatever Bible version you have. I specifically, just to give more context in terms of like lifelong and everything, I specifically used the NIV because I wanted a version that just to give more context in general, because I never really highlight this. I wanted to give a version that touch the world. I saw that this is the NIV, is the new international version. And regardless of any version that you get in the Bible, well, there might be other different like, well, we got to be aware of that. But regardless of every version that you get in the Bible, I still, because the thing is, I still use the KJV. I still use, because I still use I sometimes see the NKJV, New King James Version. Also, I have friends that are reading the ESVs, and it's the same message. It's really the same message. Maybe you can go, if you're stuck on something and you view that one version is telling you something different than another. If you're generally viewing that, what's it called? Go and compare the two, and you'll generally still see the same message. Like that's why it's important to pray before you read, because every single time before I read, I have to say a prayer so that you won't walk into something so negatively, or just prejudging without understanding the full context. Because you know what I'm saying, we see many different versions of the what's it called, many different translations in the Bible, and we think that, oh yo, that one is more better than the other. No, when you really just when you're really vested in the word and really seek to understand. If your heart is seeking to understand, you will see that there is generally there's generally no difference. It's the same meaning is there. The same meaning is there, even though King James is the old English, or their Bible might be written in a different language or anything. The same general message is there. Just seek to understand. Seek to understand, and we have to know that God will provide the way. God will provide the way. If he knows that your heart is just seeking to understand, he will help you. He will help you. He will help you. It's not by your work alone. It's about God is also what's it called? He's working in the background. He's working in the background. He's working in plain sight. It's plain sight. Even though we don't see, even though we might not see, he's working in plain sight. I know that thing. That wow, that was a lot. But yeah, that was Genesis 5 for you. Yeah. Amen.